Missouri, Eric Schmitt, joins us right now. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So he was against tariffs before he was for them. What about what the president did yesterday during the noon hour was shocking to you?
Well, in addition to another incoherent press conference and jokes that only the mainstream media there would laugh at, it's an about face, right? It's a total about face. He criticized President Trump for this. He's doing the same thing. But I think what's interesting, Steve, is what wasn't included in the action. There's two things I think that are really important. One is it exempted gas-powered vehicles from the tariffs. So he continues his sort of war on domestic energy production, his war on American jobs. And we still have the EV mandate here. And so there's just simply not the market in the United States for these electric vehicles. I'm a sort of all of the above. If that's what people want to do, that's fine. But the subsidization of this and the mandates of this, it just isn't working, and it's hurting jobs. It's one of the reasons why he's struggling in Michigan, because middle-class workers are paying the price for this radical agenda. And so it's an about face on the tariffs, that's true. But I think what's missing here is the gas-powered vehicle piece and the EV mandates that still remain.
So what you're saying is there's 100% tax on electric vehicles coming from China, but there's no tariff on gas-powered cars coming from China. And to your point, I think you hit it right on the nose, Senator. You were talking about how he's got to win Michigan. That's part of his firewall come November. And so what he's trying to do is he's trying to make sure that all those workers realize, I've got your back. But you're saying he doesn't really have their back because gas-powered cars are okay.
Yeah, the car companies are losing billions every year on EVs, and that's costing jobs. They're shedding jobs because of it, and so they feel it. And also, by the way, he's still sort of pushing all the critical minerals that we need for a bunch of things. Because of these mandates, they're going to China, right? They're going to, because you can't source them here, you can't refine them here. What we ought to be doing, Steve, is just open up domestic energy production. We ought to be a net exporter of our energy, LNG, everything, mining critical materials here. These are good paying jobs. They help our industries. But again, we're way too reliant on China. So he might say something in a press conference that sounds okay, but the truth is his policies have been a total disaster.
Sure. And, yesterday as well, he said that when he took over, inflation was 9%. That is a whopper. That's not true. It was 1.4%. It became 9% when all of that money that Congress okayed flooded the market and inflation went through the roof. And so that is one of the reasons why they're going to vote on today in the Senate, your Congressional Review Act that addresses all that COVID money, right?
Yeah, that's right. So this money is supposed to, the spigot's supposed to stop at the end of 2024. It's hard to believe we're even saying that, but when Congress approved it a few years ago, that was the end date. What the Biden administration is trying to do now through a Treasury rule is extend that to have an overtime now on spending billions more beyond 2024 on bureaucratic expenses and legal fees. So the legislation I'll have up today that we'll vote on would say, no, actually the law means something. You can't just continue to be a lawless administration, number one. And number two, inflation's sky high, the spending's out of control. This would save us at least $13 billion that the Biden administration once again continue to spend. And at some point, I don't know, in Washington, maybe that doesn't seem like a lot of money to some people, but where I'm from, where I still count my money, $13 billion is a lot of money. It's over $1,200 per family in this country. And so I think today's an important day for us to kind of take a stand on this reckless spending.
Well, why do they still have COVID money if COVID is done?
Right. Well, the problem, Steve, is they're spending this. Washington State, for example, spent over $300 million on cash payments to illegals. The state of Illinois is still spending millions to register illegals for citizenship. They're building swimming pools and golf courses. At some point, the madness has to stop. COVID is over, and the spending spree needs to stop.
All right. Thank you very much, Senator, for stopping by. You're going to be the first one in your office today when you go in about 10 minutes. Eric Schmitt from the great state of Missouri. Sir, thank you.
Good to see you, Steve.
All right.